It is Monday, July the 4th, 2022. I am James. You are you. We are here for another breathtaking episode of At Home with James. We are live on Twitch, what I so lovingly refer to as the nerdiest website along the internet. And I mentioned it a couple moments ago. This is a very special date. We are, in fact, celebrating the fourth installment of a Radio Shack Retrospective. If you know what we're doing, welcome back. If you're visualizing this with your eyes for the first time, what is a Radio Shack Retrospective and why is this the fourth edition? I will let you know. Some weeks ago, Dave Kaufman let me know that some weirdo had purchased the IP of Radio Shack and sold it to some other internet weirdo. Now that person is running amok with a variety of adult-themed and vulgar tweets. So what we decided to do is step into the time machine, go back into the archives, and watch a 2-hour compilation of Radio Shack commercials. Now, if you've been watching, you know that many of these commercials have to do with the TRS, and then you enter in any number, whether it's the 400, 800, 3000. It's a computer commercial. There's also a variety of Christmas commercials, and that's about it. You might be asking yourself, wait a minute, you're doing this again? Yeah, we're in it for the long haul. So much so that I might add 2 or 3 surprise episodes this week, not because I want to, but because we have to get through this 2-hour compilation in order to get back to where we once belonged. Or maybe, just maybe, this is the bizarre depths that this show is becoming. We used to have characters and segments and game shows. Now this is what the people really want. They want to see us truly and utterly get weird. Other episodes that I've thought about are Kentucky Fried Chicken tribute episodes. I thought about an episode where we pay homage to currently dead but renowned fraud medium, Dr. Sylvia Brown. More on that much later. But first and foremost, let's welcome tonight's guest. Of course, he is a co-conspirator on the show, and the other is a Hall of Famer. Please welcome Dave Kaufman and Syd Roc to tonight's program. Dave, how are you feeling this evening? Radio Shack Retrospective, Part 4.
I'm feeling good, James. It's an honor to be here.
Well, it's a very special day. Of course, it is the fourth episode in which we are reviewing Radio Shack commercials.
Yeah, happy installment anniversary.
Oh, thank you very much, Syd.
Yeah, it's a day to celebrate freedom.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and you know what? I think when we think about the United States of America,
why are you thinking about the United States of America?
Well, we're sharing a birthday. I don't want to, I don't want to pretend that it's non-existent. But when I think America, I think classic commercials. I think classic stores. Radio Shack's at the top of my list. Now, Syd, I'm going to ask you what I've asked all of our guests who participated on these panels is, do you have any memories of shopping at Radio Shack?
I of course I have memories of shopping at Radio Shack. Like they were the OG Future Shop before Future Shop was a thing for Canada. Unfortunately for the brand, the main thing that I remember is having to give my damn address whenever I bought batteries or some shit.
Now, this came up last week. Thomas Barnwell said the same thing. No matter what you do, you have to give your personal information. Now, here's a question that I want to ask. Am I correct or incorrect in that Radio Shack's turned into the source?
I'm 99% sure that's true.
All right. Now, Dave, do you have any information on that?
I feel like I'm going to say it's not true.
Okay, so this is kind of like a CNN crossfire type of thing where one of you has to disagree with the other.
Yeah.
I like it.
All right, so Syd, you mentioned batteries. Do you have any other memorable purchases from a Radio Shack? And of course, Dave, this question is open to you as well.
I don't have any memorable purchases from Radio Shack. Well, I have one from La Source, which was its descendant, and it's an air filter that I don't use and I've thrown away a year or two ago.
Okay, so memorable in that you no longer had a use for it and you threw it right in the trash.
Yeah, and it's literally the only thing that I specifically remember buying from La Source, not even Radio Shack. Besides that, maybe some remote control car or some shit. Yep. But I was a wee tot
knee high to a grasshopper. Dave,
exactly.
I don't think we ever discussed if you made any memorable purchases.
I think I bought Game Boy games there a couple of times.
Wow.
Maybe a Kirby, the original Game Boy Kirby. But I also, for Christmas one year, I got a remote control car that I think was either from Radio Shack or it was from Canadian Tire, because in some other episode of the show we watched a Canadian Tire Christmas commercial and I saw that car in it, but I was sure that it was from Radio Shack, so I don't know what's going on anymore.
I want to back that ass up, as we say on the show, for a second. You talked about the Kirby Game Boy game. I also owned that. One of my favorite games of all time. Many years later, I think we're going to go back to 2011 here. I walked into GameStop, which is in the Eaton Center, and I saw a cardboard cutout for a new Kirby game, and I said, quote, I'll never forget it. I said, hold the phone. There's a new Kirby, and all of the video game nerds hanging behind the counter began laughing at me.
That sounds like a commercial.
Yeah, it does sound. Yeah, it was maybe this could have been a Radio Shack commercial if they had managed to maintain.
Hold the phone. There's a new Kirby.
Yeah, and then followed by, they all laughed at me.
That sounds like a formative moment of why you don't like nerds.
Nerds they have terrible haircuts.
Correct.
Anyway, Syd, let's go to you. Memories of the Kirby video game.
I've never played a Kirby video game. The only time I've interacted with the Kirby franchise was through the Super Smash Brothers games. And Kirby was one of my favorite characters. I wasn't any good with him. I just enjoyed stealing everyone's powers.
The thing about Kirby, Syd, is that he sucks.
But he also blows.
Yeah.
Now, let's get into why we're here tonight.
Ladies.
Now, Syd, as we were off air, Syd, you were not aware of the current lineage and version of Radio Shack. We were discussing their Twitter account, which we've talked about a few times over the past few weeks. Now, Dave, Radio Shack's been at it once again, and you're going to read some of these tweets.
I'm gonna pull them up. I'll pull up Radio Shack's Twitter here.
And their Twitter, again, this is a real account. It is at Radio Shack.
Yeah. So here's one for celebrating today's date. Salute to all the veterans and active duty men and women who provide me the luxury of talking shit on Twitter freely from the comfort of mommy's basement. America, baby. So that's a celebratory 4th of July tweet.
Yeah, like a little bit self-referential, making it seem like he's a bit of a nerd.
Yeah, here's one. Sit on my face and use my ears as handlebars.
Jesus.
Syd, what do you think about that tweet? Now, we know that you're very active on Twitter. Would this make it into your likes?
Probably. I can see myself liking that. Like I'll like a wide variety of tweets for a wide variety of reasons. One of the things that would make me choose to not like a tweet is by liking a tweet, I increase the odds of it showing up in the timeline of people who follow me. And sometimes I see a tweet and I'm like, I don't want to like promote this to people who are following me, so I won't like it for that reason. But that is some laws. That's some nice, innocent, raunchy laws.
All right.
And here's the earlier tweet. I was going to say the very next one, but of course Twitter, you're reading from most recent to least recent. Is due to inflation, 6 inches is now 9 inches.
Nice.
You like that?
Well, so there's been a bit of a kind of face riding and as well as penis jokes.
Then one is...
And it's also an inflation joke.
Yes. Yeah. Very topical.
Topical.
Rest in peace, Technoblade. You will be remembered forever. So I'm not sure who Technoblade is. Maybe he's a gamer or something?
I don't know.
I don't know either, but I agree.
We'll get Devin on that. Devin will get us some information on who Technoblade is.
Then just stole some girl's food at Chipotle. Thanks, Katie. So he stole somebody's food.
Yeah, they've lost their food.
I was distracted finding out who Technoblade is, and it's for the best. Let's just say it looks like Technoblade is a real person, and it looks like a sad story. So I would recommend leaving that for homework after the show is over.
Well, then rest in peace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But on that bummer, let's move on to the next tweet. The only thing NFT people should be minting today is a walk outside. I can hear your $30 Amazon gaming chairs screaming from here.
Whoa, okay, so this is some serious shots fired here.
And then I'll leave it on this as the last tweet I'm reading today, because it goes back to the beginning of the month. Some people think beer is nasty, and so am I after 15.
Yeah.
Good morning and happy Friday.
All right, so once again, every episode that we do, another retrospective, this account has given us more to talk about. As Bonnie Raitt once said, let's give them something to talk about, and that's what this account is doing.
Yeah.
Now, coming in from the chat, legendary viewer Boss Fracture writes, quote, came into James saying, face writing, a new era of at home. We talked about this is a new era.
I agree. It's the face writing era.
Yeah, this face writing era of at home. Stay tuned. Boss Fracture, you're in the writing to receive tonight's kiss giveaway in which I give out a little kiss. Syd, you're up for it too.
Great.
Drink up, Dave. Now, we're going to continue with where we left off. And in order to know that, Dave, where have we left off on this Radio Shack commercial compilation video?
Well, when I refreshed the YouTube page, it said we are at minute 41:51 of 2 hours and 5 minutes.
Right.
So we're a lot less than halfway.
But you know what? We're making headway.
We're making headway. Now I'm worried because it seems like we're in the middle of a commercial. So I'm going to start playing and we'll see if we've seen it already.
All right, let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Yeah, the other day we watched the same commercial 3 or 4 times. So
Sure.
Here we go.
We can make or take calls anywhere around the house. Susie's always proving you can use it in any room. The redial button is a must whenever
Oh,
Carol's trying to
nice.
get through to her mother. In fact, it's perfect for anyone on the move.
Merry Christmas, honey.
The ET393 phone, sale price for Christmas, only at Radio Shack.
I don't know if anybody noticed in the middle of that commercial, I spilt my drink on myself.
I did not notice that, but I will say that we have seen this commercial.
We have seen the commercial. So let's continue watching. Syd?
All right. So again, that was a Christmas commercial, which there are many of.
Yeah. So let's continue.
You've got the whole world in your hand. You've got the whole wide world in your hand. You've got
Yes.
the whole world in your hand. You've got the whole world in your hand.
Be great if this was a toupee commercial.
In your hand with Radio Shack's new portable cellular phone, a price and technology breakthrough.
The whole world in your hand.
Only at Radio Shack, the technology store.
Is that the first cell phone commercial that we saw?
It is. Yeah, it's the first portable cellular phone, and I think that might be the first jingle that we've heard as well.
No, we've heard another jingle. Remember there was those robots.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
I like that commercial. It is funny that you look at those and they look ridiculous, and I'm sure in the 80s they looked ridiculous as well. But it is funny that technology transformed the entire world.
It's funny too because I would wager that they did look ridiculous in the 80s, but not for the reasons that they look to us today. I would wager that a bunch of people thought that they were ridiculous because, man, who needs to be on a phone all the time? If I want to use my phone, I'll just go home or drop a quarter in a payphone.
Yeah. Why would you need to carry a phone around?
Yeah, for sure.
Now, I wonder what the phone bill was like at the end of the month on a cell phone like
Jesus Christ, that must have been insane.
Yeah, but you didn't have to pay for data.
Yeah, you wouldn't have had to pay for data, but I bet the phone bill was still high.
I think it was per minute, and it was probably like 75 cents a minute or something. Look at how much I spilt on my shirt.
Yeah, you really are celebrating the 4th episode of the Radio Shack Retrospective.
I am. And James, I'm going to call you out a little bit.
Okay.
This was not a jingle at all. This is just a song.
You're right. It's just a song. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? You called me out, and I really respect you for keeping me on the level here.
I think a jingle, you have to write it for the thing.
It's true.
For
Yeah.
the thing, yeah.
You're right. Okay. Well,
And
then
this
they
wasn't
basically,
that.
yeah, they co-opted the song, and
Yeah, yeah.
it was like, you know, I got the
Correct.
whole world in my hand, which means you can call anyone, maybe around the world.
Yeah.
I also want to note that Tandy was not used as part of the commercial. There was no mention of Tandy, which is the
Yeah, so
the Umbrella Corporation.
just to catch
My
Sid
first
up.
computer was a Tandy.
Well, yeah, Tandy
so there
owned
we
Radio
go.
Shack. Yeah. Sid, where were you the last few episodes?
Doing other things.
Well, he's honest. He was honest about it. So this is incredible. We've got someone who owned a Tandy. That's a
Yeah.
Radio Shack computer, Sid. Any memories of your Tandy computer?
I have tons of memories of my Tandy computer.
Yeah, let's hear it.
I had a Tandy 1000 EX, and most of my memories involve using this shitty ass paint program with a joystick. And what else? Playing Root Beer Tapper. Root Beer Tapper was the only game that I had for a while, and I played it a lot. It's possible that I had another game that I played on it. Oh my God. How could I forget King's Quest 3?
Oh, yeah, King's Quest.
Yes.
Now, hold on, Dave. Do you know that game? That felt maybe facetious.
No, I know King's Quest.
All right.
It's a series of games, though. Like I did catch what you were picking up. I have a feeling that me bringing up King's Quest 3 reminded Dave of the series, and he's probably played other games.
Yes,
in
I
that
haven't
series.
I haven't played the third one, but King's Quest has been
exactly.
around for forever. You can buy it on
Yeah.
You can buy it on Steam right now.
Really
Oh yeah.
interesting.
Now, this is very interesting. For the first time ever, I've been given an alert saying that this meeting will end in 10 minutes. Is it possible that my previous account has now reached its ultimate limit? This episode could end in 10 minutes. Let's see what happens when I try to upgrade.
Okay. Should I play the next commercial?
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm nervous.
well, I mean,
now.
we got 10 minutes. That
Yeah.
if anything, that's all the more reason to play commercials.
Yeah, okay, let's do it.
You've got the whole
Oh,
Again?
it's a different device though. This is a car phone.
world in your hand. You've got the whole world in your hand.
Oh yeah, car phones.
World in your hand.
Put the whole world in your hand with an affordable Radio Shack cellular car phone. Only $7.99.
Got the whole world in your hand.
Only at Radio Shack, the technology store.
A lot of diverse cars in that commercial.
Yeah, and so it seems like we're seeing a theme with the cellular phones. We got a little preview here for the upcoming looks like a remote control car. To me, this is where the commercials are taking a turn, modernizing a little bit for the time.
For sure. I would say that this is an inflection point in the series. We started episode 4 in a whole, it's like in a mini series. The next episode's a whole new world.
Right. The era of cellular phones, most computers at this point have 16 color displays, or maybe even 256 colors.
What about 32?
I don't know. That's actually a good question. Like logically, there must have been 32 colored displays at some
Or
point.
64 rather, maybe.
From what I remember, from my memory, the only displays that I saw growing up were 4 color, then 16 color, and then 256. I don't remember.
You could be right,
anything
because it
in
would have
between.
gone 64 and then 256, but maybe they just had the technology to skip that level.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Now, I want to check in on this Zoom call time here.
Yeah?
Yes, that is important.
Now we're up to 7 minutes and 20 seconds left. Now, the question is, if I begin to upgrade this, you're going to lose me as I, deal with registering for Zoom. Now, we've got a couple options here.
Mm-hmm.
Dave, do you have a pro account?
Nope.
Interesting. Okay, now what we can do is this. We can put an end to this episode and then do The Radio Shack Retrospective Part 5 in a matter of moments.
Or what's the? You said a couple of options.
Those are the two options.
What
except the one option that I thought maybe we could exercise is not possible.
Okay. I think we got time for another commercial.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, okay.
We have 6 minutes and 20 seconds left.
Yeah.
Okay. And of course, the stream's still going to go. I'm still on the air.
Well, you're still on the air, but this call is gonna end abruptly, and the show will technically still be on the air.
That's right.
All right, let's go to another commercial.
Are you prepared to entertain the audience with probably no camera?
Yes.
Well,
No.
I'm talking to Dave.
Yeah.
All right. Let's.
Well, he did. He gave a no. Let's go to another commercial here.
Let's do it.
My friends and I love our Radio Shack radio-controlled cars.
Watch out! Here comes Buster!
My 4x4 off-roader's big tires handle lots of bumps to get me out of here quick.
And look at my turbo racer, run for cover!
Doing my high-speed turbo Lamborghini corner, I'm out of sight in no time.
Oh, he always finds us.
Buster loves to chase cars.
Radio Shack's Radio Control Turbo Lamborghini 4x4 Off-Roader and Turbo Racer. Batteries not included. Radio Control toys each sold separately. Only at Radio Shack.
I like that this one has a dog in it. And again, I'll reaffirm what I mentioned previously. It seems like they have turned a corner and they've become less stuffy in terms of commercials. Feels like a commercial you'd see maybe for Canadian Tire, Zellers, or Kmart. Like just a normal ad.
I agree. One thing that I noticed about that is that there was like a phase of remote control. Firstly, remote control cars they were battery destroyers. Like you would have to have batteries for the controller, and you'd have to have batteries for the car, and they would last like 30 minutes, and then you need a whole new set of batteries, and you'd probably just chuck them in the lake, the ones that are that are done. But then the next thing that I was thinking of is a lot of remote control cars had that gun remote, which I never understood why. Two of them were regular remotes, but then one of them was shaped like a gun, where you like
with the little wheel on the side.
Yeah, why was that? Anybody know?
I'm not too familiar.
My guess is the trigger for the gun type. The trigger was the throttle, and the wheel thing was a steering wheel.
But why would they do it? Just to make it look cool? You think?
Maybe that's a valid question, but I can't conceive of an answer.
Imagine you were driving your car and your steering wheel was a gun.
Now that is the type of idea that could have kept Radio Shack in business. Where instead of this, you're driving down the street, it's this.
Yep. Everyone.
And when you honk, you pull the trigger.
Yeah.
Oh, you pull the trigger with your thumb, eh?
Oh, you're right. Yeah, that'd be cocking a gun. This would be
there. We go.
Here, let's do it. Yeah, Sid, you've got a real little gun there.
Yeah.
That's like a Saturday night special that you've got.
Hey, it's not the size of the gun; it's what you do with it.
I agree.
I like that. Now we're up to 3 minutes and 19 seconds left on this call. Let's so how do we go about this? Do we do?
Let's do one more commercial.
Yeah, let's get into it.
But we gotta talk about it quick.
Radio Shack puts the power of business computing in your home and saves you $300. The powerful 286 Tandy 1000, now only $11.99, including color monitor. You save $300. It's PC compatible, easy to use, comes with 7 ready-to-run programs for the family. To keep a budget, write term papers, or even do filing and create graphics. Complete Tandy 1000 system with color monitor, only $11.99. Only at Radio Shack.
Terrible graphics.
What jumped out at me right there was that that computer had a 3.5-inch floppy drive. Mine was 5.25 inch.
The big floppies.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Back when floppy disks were actually floppy.
Yeah, you want a big floppy.
Yeah, there we go.
Now,
thanks to inflation.
This one went back to kind of the stuffiness. And again, I think they're trying to make quite a distinction between the fun toy Christmas commercials, the computer ones. It feels like they have yet to have a fun computer commercial.
I agree. You know who made computers fun? Apple.
Who?
Apple.
think different.
What do you think, Sid? As we've got 1 minute and 49 seconds to go.
Here's the thing: Apple might make computers fun now, but they like PC. How can I say this? The PC dominated gaming for like most of computing.
Mm-hmm.
If that's still not the case, but you know, iPhones and shit is.
Well, look,
it's
Apple,
fun in
Apple
its
had a
own way,
resurgence too. They had a resurgence, and I remember as a youngster they were quite stuffy computers, but so was an IBM. Maybe computers were just less fun back then.
Yeah, not like now.
Totally.
Now we're up to just about 60 seconds to go.
So here's an idea.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put the stream on the waiting for. Clip.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That's an amazing.
We'll reset
idea.
the call.
Yeah.
And we'll be with you in a second for part 5.
Yeah.
Of At Home with.
Or it's part 4, part 2.
Part 4, part 2.
Yes.
All right. We'll be back with part 4. I don't know why I'm doing the announcement. You're the host.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's get into it. Stay tuned. We'll be back in
Thanks
just a moment.
for being here, everyone. Stay tuned.
Yeah, you heard Sid. We'll be back.
And part 4, part 2.
Part 4, part 2.
5.
Back in just a moment. Stay tuned. And thank you so much.
All right. Just make a new call. Oh, I'm live.
They're just waiting for Sid to come in now. Yeah. Check out the chat. Awkward Sid.
Nice.
And I think we're live. This is an unbelievable turn of events. Never in at-home history has this happened. You know, I'm a little flummoxed here, but welcome back. This is the Radio Shack Retrospective Part 4, Part 2. And it will go up as one episode live on Twitch in our video on demand later. I can't believe it. Guys, let's recap what happened. Dave, what do you think?
Well, you know, it all happened so fast, it's a bit of a blur to me now. But,
Yep.
you know, we were in the middle of the show, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, we get a warning on the Zoom call that the Zoom call is ending.
Yeah,
because
first time in at-home history. Sid, now this is, you know, I don't want to say it's comparable to the Kennedy assassination, but I don't want to say it's not.
In many ways, in some ways, it's worse. You know? This is a commemoration of an era.
Yeah,
that was just now instead of uniting to commemorate the history of Radio Shack, we are united to commemorate like the history of Part 4, Part 1.
And now coming in from the chat from Devin, breaking news: Zoom call ending worse than JFK assassination. Sid. Well, look, let's get. I will certainly be able to complete this episode now that we've got these snafus out of the way, and we'll get this figured out before our next episode, whenever that might be. Are we ready to get into the next batch of commercials here?
I'm ready.
Let's do it.
Y'all ready for this? Sorry.
Apology accepted.
Can't hear anything.
No.
Wow.
A Tandy computer for like $400. That's like a giveaway practically.
Now, watching this commercial, Sid, as you talk about it, it's almost like you're filling in for the audio that we're missing.
Well, I mean, yeah. I'm always happy to help. Yeah, $400. And that's probably like in 1980s money.
Now, Dave, do we think that commercial was just without audio?
I think it was a lower audio commercial. I'm hoping that I didn't mess
It almost
up.
looked like it was filmed with a camera.
Yeah, it did look like it was filmed with a camera. Good-looking lady in the commercial.
A lovely woman.
Lovely woman. But yeah, I couldn't hear. Unless we all went deaf all of a sudden, I couldn't hear anything.
It looks like they've pivoted here and they've gone from a Tandy Corporation to the Technology Store.
That's true. Coming in from the chat, we can't heat it from Naive Adventures.
Yeah, you don't want to heat up a computer. You don't want to heat up a computer.
Yeah. No, you want to keep them as cool as possible. That's why you got fans in there.
I how can I say this? There's one notable difference between when we could hear the commercials and when we can't, and it's visible in the Zoom call. So I don't think David is not sharing his audio because there would be a little pop-up in the Zoom call that you are.
Oh, that's true. I'm not sharing the audio because I am not the host, but I will say this. I couldn't hear the audio either, and neither could. So it was a happy
you're
accident.
saying-
Okay, cool. So it's a happy accident. That's funny.
Yeah. So also coming into the chat, Boss Fracture, new boner just dropped. Now, this is it. This is, I think, for the first time ever, double boners. Dave, you and I have both pulled boners tonight, which Sid does not bode well for you.
But they cancel each other out.
It's true.
Let's see if the next one has audio. That commercial didn't have audio, even though you guys couldn't hear it, even if it did have audio.
Well, let's go to the next one. We'll do it live.
We are forced to take your word for it, but
I do think that this commercial was filmed with a camcorder, like it's
Yes.
like it was.
Yeah,
filmed in
you can see
front,
the shaky.
like it was filmed in front of like a bootleg movie or something.
Yeah, like there's someone bootlegging commercials.
Yeah. Okay, hold on.
Obtenez maintenant le répondeur téléphonique TAD 325 de Radio Shack à seulement $149,95. À seulement $149,95. $149,95. Code de sécurité programmable, fonction de commande à distance, durée de message variable et beaucoup plus. Et à seulement $149,95.
$150 for an answering machine.
Now, we talked about looking ridiculous carrying around a gigantic
A gigantic. Lac gigantique.
Yeah, I became Québécois. We were talking about carrying around a téléphone mobile gigantique.
Yeah. What was cool about that commercial is they had the date when the deal expired. That deal is no longer available because it expired in 1989.
Yeah.
Nice.
Now, I was going to say these commercials look like they're bordering the 90s here. We talked about the phones being obscene. Now, I wonder if at that time that's a great price for an answering machine.
Probably a good price. I mean, look how fast they were flying off the shelves.
Yeah.
Now, I would like to say that this was also the best French commercial that we've seen so far. It was self-aware. It was funny.
I like the guy's mustache.
And of my memories of what life was like back in the day, answering machines were not the norm. Like if you wanted to call someone and they either weren't home or were screening their calls or wanted to pretend they weren't home, the phone would just ring and ring and ring.
Yeah, and you had for the machines, you had a little cassette that you would put in until it fills up. You had to switch the sides, and that's what would record all the messages.
Yep. All right, there you have it. A trip down memory lane. Let's go to the next commercial.
Saisissez la technologie chez Radio Shack.
Another quiet commercial.
No, must be bootlegged.
It has a wireless remote and is sale priced at $159.95.
We saved $70.
And for Tony's gift, we got Radio Shack's portable.
She reminds me of a Candice Bergen.
No, but there's also a subtle clue of the times where you specify that the remote is a wireless remote, because there were definitely wired remotes. Yeah. Now you just say remotes.
Again, another really lovely woman.
She Murphy Brown-esque.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Let's go to the next one.
Je peux l'essayer, maman?
On va voir.
Oh, s'il te plaît.
D'accord, essaie-le.
Radio Shack présente une nouvelle génération de téléphones cellulaires abordables et réduit les prix de façon spectaculaire.
Allô, papa? C'est moi.
Autre nouveauté de Radio Shack, un téléphone entièrement portatif à un prix qui défie la concurrence.
Et c'est qu'on peut.
Wow.
Radio Shack, le premier nom en technologie cellulaire.
Now, there's no way a family on that construction worker guy's budget could afford a car phone and a cell phone
for over $3,000.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. You used to be able to make a living with a blue collar job like that.
That is true.
What I want to go around the horn here. If all three of us had blue collar jobs, what do they think they would be? Sid, what do you think your blue collar job would be?
Blue collar job?
Yeah.
The first thing that came to mind is construction.
Yeah. Dave, how about you?
Probably construction. I spent the weekend painting some rooms in my apartment, and I really enjoy painting. So I also spent one summer of my life as a youth in the custodial arts. So maybe I'd go back to that kind of lifestyle.
I think maybe I'd work in asphalt. Great, let's go to the next commercial.
I was distracted by Naive Adventures in the chat saying that her mom still has... her dad was a contractor and had a phone in his car, and her mom still has it.
Okay, so there is truth to what Dave has mentioned, which is back in those days, you might be able to, on the wage that you had as a blue-collar worker, have some of these expensive items.
But I think you'd be surprised how much contractor or plumber or garbage man, like they all make different levels of jobs there, but they all make a good salary. You can make 6 figures doing that kind of work.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, there you go. It's confirmed.
Doesn't pay as well as improv, though.
Finding a phone in a car isn't that unusual anymore, except when it leaves the car for greener pastures, the high seas, or a leisurely lunch. Radio Shack keeps you in constant communication with their affordable, transportable cellular telephone.
Hello? Oh, yes, he's right here. It's for you.
Yes, I heard about the merger. Buy 100 shares.
The affordable, transportable cellular telephone. Only at Radio Shack.
Now, I really like that commercial. I think the nerd kid at the end was often cast as a nerd in a lot of TV shows, specifically the show Step by Step.
Was that the same kid?
I think it was.
I mean, it's either like a very specific archetype kid, or it was the exact same kid. Because
Yes.
I also recognized
He had that vague familiarity to him, definitely.
Let's talk about this dock that the phone comes on.
The briefcase, a briefcase phone.
Yeah, you're walking around with a little generator.
What do you think's in there? What do you think's in there? Is it the antenna?
I would wager a battery and antenna.
Yeah, it's quite a hefty thing to lug around.
So by comparison, that brick cellular phone, completely portable brick cellular phone, was like an even further miniaturization from that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Did we get a price on that item? Was there a price?
Wasn't a price, but that kid did try to buy 100 shares of a stock, which could either be not very much or it could be a lot if it's a more expensive share.
Now, I like this remark in the chat from Boss Fracture. Young kid in Larry King cosplay.
Amazing.
Which, again, Boss Fracture is inching closer and closer to winning my kiss tonight.
Ooh.
There we go.
But, Larry Kidd was a young kid back when this commercial...
Did you just say Larry Kidd?
Larry Kidd was a young king.
Larry Kidd.
Larry Kidd was a young king back when this commercial was made. All right, let's go to the next one.
Yeah, we have
Radio Shack Merry Christmas.
Whenever I need a fun pick-me-up, I pick up Radio Shack's Electronic Space Aliens game I got Cindy for Christmas. Or I pick up the Jet Fighter game I gave Jim. Wow, a direct hit.
Yeah.
Or I pick up the Pro Action Football game I gave Jeremy. Touchdown.
That's why we picked up the Space Rescue game for you, Gramps.
A wide selection of electronic games from $7.95, only at Radio Shack. The technology...
Man, I miss LED games. I just got thrown back to this game of Shinobi that I had.
I had Shinobi as well, yeah.
It was an LCD game, so... you could throw shuriken and grenades, and you had a gun.
Yeah. So do you know what an LED game is, James?
Well, yeah, it's just essentially one of those handheld games that I always thought was, these are crappy.
It's a handheld game. Only the front LED panel has the moving bits, and the background's always stagnant.
Yeah.
But you probably thought
LCD.
that when...
It's LCD.
Yeah. My bad.
No, my bad. Yeah, but go on.
Sorry. But you probably thought it was crappy because Game Boy was already out when you had those games too. But this was kind of before that. They came out before that in the handheld space.
Now, Dave, you're talking like you've got 10 years on me here. You're 2 years older than me.
Important 2 years, James.
I suppose you're right.
Yeah.
Now, I really like this commercial. It involves a lot of things I like, which is playfulness, Christmas, and old men.
Yeah, creepy old guys.
Oh, well, hold on. Why is he old? I think he's fun-loving.
You called him old.
I never said he was creepy.
But then why'd you say, why is he old?
Well, as in, why does he have to be a creepy old man?
Okay, why is he creepy? Because the first facial expression he made was a creepy one.
Syd, you're going to break the tie. Is this guy a creepy old man or an old man?
I have to side with creepy. I have to go with creepy.
Let's go back to that first frame.
By a hair. Not very creepy. Not all creepy old men are equally creepy. And he was very mild on the creepy spectrum. But
it's
yes,
a Radio
definitely
Shack Merry Christmas.
I'm just going back to look at this. Look at his face.
Whenever I need a fun pick-me-up, I pick...
Look at that.
Yeah, but you take anyone in a moment of being frozen and they look creepy, right?
At that. Look how he's looking at that game.
Okay, I really, in the case that this man is still with us, I think it's really unkind.
Well, there's no way he's still with us.
Well, we never know.
It's true. We don't know.
How old do you think he is there? 40, 45?
45? No. This man is in his 70s at least.
Coming in from the chat, Naive Adventures, he is not creepy. He is just old.
There we go.
Yeah, I want the audience. Now, Dave, let's bring that panel back where he was just his face. Let's sit on this.
Got to search
second.
for this panel now.
I want this man's face on the screen. We're gonna let the audience. You got 1 minute to decide: is this man creepy or not?
I pick up
Radio Shack.
Wait, I'll
Merry
freeze on a
Christmas.
good one.
whenever I need a fun pick-me-up. I pick
There you go.
The way he says "pick me up" is a little weird.
He just
All right,
wants
so
to get his. He wants a little pick me up.
Let's see what the audience has to say, because I think he's just a nice guy. Now, as we await for the the outpouring of support or otherwise to come in, Syd, what do you think about this return to the show on your end to be part of this monumentous night, the 4th installment of the Radio Shack Retrospective?
Both part 1 and 2.
So here's the thing: the reminding me that LCD games were ever a thing was it just hit me with this wave of nostalgia.
Yeah.
I googled Shinobi LCD game on my other screen right here, and I have Google Images with just like a picture of the actual thing.
Yeah.
And I'm just
it's taking you back. It gives you that warm. And you know what, Syd? What I like about this is that you and I have been able to, bridge gap between us, because that was also a Christmas commercial. So we both felt warmth for different reasons.
Yeah, I guess I'll give you that one. I don't want
All
to
right.
be antagonistic to. Yes,
We've
a
got two
commercial
votes
that
in the
happens to
chat.
be set in Christmas had something that really hit me in the
Again,
feels.
we have found a way to be mutually happy about it. The votes are
Yes.
in, Dave. Let's go to you. You can read these, Dave.
First vote, desiccated and creepy. And the next one is creepy, but his creepitude is a nice pick-me-up.
That's okay. Okay, so there we go. I've lost by a landslide. Let's go to the next commercial.
Okay, let me fast forward here.
Electronic games from $7.95, only at Radio Shack, the technology store.
They have air hockey
It's a
there.
Radio Shack Merry
Nice.
Christmas.
Thanks to Radio Shack, next year we'll be quieter around here. Speakers are half price, so Greg can rock in his room. And there's a $14.88 phone for Tina's private conversations. $8.95 action games for the carpool. Bob keeps busy with the mobile CB, just $79.95.
And with a pocket calculator at $8.88.
The savings add up. Thanks, Radio Shack.
The Christmas electronics sale, only at Radio Shack, the technology store.
Well, the first thing I want to say is the mother seems really lovely.
Absolutely.
She seems like a generous lady.
Did the dad have a CB radio in the car?
Yeah.
That's unusual. No.
Yeah, that's for if you want to find the nearest glory hole at the truck stop.
Yeah, that's if you're part of a great big convoy. Ain't she a beautiful sight?
Exactly. Also, pocket calculator, terrible gift.
Well, not if you're a nerd.
Even then.
Or a student.
Yeah. And I think they were playing some of those LCD games in the back seat as well,
They were
while the
playing
dad's
LCD
dad's on the
games
CB radio trying to get a nice hole.
A nice glory hole.
Yeah, getting his wants to get
Wants to treat himself.
yeah, to a suck job.
I wanted to clean it up, but you really took it into the toilet there, Dave.
All right, next commercial.
Yeah, all
It's
right.
a Radio Shack Merry Christmas.
Nice.
What'd you get the boys?
Radio Shack's radio-controlled cars. A dual-speed White
Classic
Tiger
gun
Turbo with spring
controller.
suspension to hug the road. A high-speed Golden Arrow off-roader with lightning response to leave them in the dust. And a turbocharged Ferrari that will burn up the racetrack.
Bob, you got 3 cars. We only have 2 boys.
2 little boys and 1 big one.
Radio-controlled cars from $9.95 to $119.95, only at Radio Shack, the technology store.
It's quite a jump from $9.95 to $119.95. First thing I'll say is the wife is really lovely.
Yeah.
That is I tend to agree.
And I think that it's a fun-loving dad. I did not have a fun-loving dad growing up, nor did I have a dad growing up.
Sorry to hear that.
Thank you.
So he didn't give you Radio Shack car.
Radio control.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah,
tear
I
up
did
the
not,
track.
Yeah. My dad never afforded me the gift of tearing up the track. Dave, what about you? Did your dad get you this?
Probably had a CB radio though, if you know what I'm saying.
Are you outing your dad as a glory hole
Not
enthusiast?
my dad.
You're in the back seat playing an
Talking about your
LCD.
dad.
My dad, yeah, I guarantee you, my dad did not have the means to have a CB radio.
I just got a text from my wife. The upstairs toilet is clogged.
Oh boy!
Tried to use the plunger, but it's not going down.
So, are you outing your wife as clogging your upstairs toilet?
I didn't say she did it. It was probably me from earlier.
All right, so
Nice.
so this is more breaking news: is that you clogged your toilet,
Yeah.
and as you stream on the internet, your wife is upstairs plunging away.
Yeah, she's calling me, so I'm gonna mute myself.
All right, yeah, let's mute yourself, Sid. Let's now. How do you think this turns out for Dave here?
I gotta say,
Yeah, the best is that he's muted to the audience, but we can hear him.
My money's on she clogged the toilet, and he's I am Spartacus style covering for her.
You're
That's
saying
what I think is happening,
he's
which I think is very
publicly taking
noble.
the fall.
Yeah, exactly. He's voluntarily taking the fall. I think
All right.
that's what's happening. Because the rules of the game are very simple. The last person to touch it broke it. Period.
All right.
Full stop.
Now,
What's up, guys?
Dave, the results are in. Sid and me think that your wife clogged the toilet.
Yep.
And you're taking the fall.
No,
You're like all the president's men.
No, it's I'm guilty as charged over here, boys. There's
You bring charges up against yourself?
Yeah, I'm turning myself in.
Listen, I admire your commitment to this act.
The prosecution rests.
Is that what they do?
Let's go to the next
commercial.
Yeah.
One American company was the first to market the personal computer nationwide. Today, this company continues to meet America's challenge with proven quality in product design and development at its 25 USA manufacturing facilities, with innovation in meeting America's diverse personal computing needs, with competitiveness in distribution at over 7,000 locations. The company, Tandy Corporation, America's technology answer.
Now that's
Okay, so
a
they've
4th of
brought-
July commercial.
They brought Tandy back, and I will say that even though it was kind of in line with their boring commercials, when it comes to computers, it felt like a little bit more grand, more of an event, and less businessy and sterile.
I'm pumped after watching that. I want to USA.
Yeah, you're ready to go clog another toilet.
Yeah, exactly.
There we go.
Interesting that they said the diverse computing needs of America, and then a shot of 1,000 white people.
Now, I thought it was interesting, the kid off the top in a dark room with just the shine of the computer.
Yeah, I like that. It was like, it kind of like felt like he was watching the moon landing or something.
Or the Kennedy assassination.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Or his toilet getting clogged.
Yeah.
Yeah, live footage of a little boy's toilet being clogged.
Yeah.
All right. Sid, what did you think of that one?
Well, it was a Tandy commercial, not a Radio
Yep.
Shack commercial.
Yep.
So
But here's the thing. Tandy owns Radio Shack and then eventually folds itself into Radio Shack. So it became
Spoiler.
Radio Shack.
Nice. So it was a Radio Shack commercial ahead of its time.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
In the becoming, so to speak.
Let's go to the next one.
Radio Shack. Here it is. The Tandy 1000 SL computer system. IBM PC compatible and sale price for under $9.99. Save $200.
Comes complete with color monitor and built-in DeskMate software.
Word processing, graphics, worksheet.
I've never seen one so easy to use.
Greetings. Need directions back to your planet?
This technology is more advanced than we thought.
And we saved $200.
Beam it up.
Save $200
And we saved
on the
$200.
Tandy 1000 SL system, less
Man.
than $999 only at Radio Shack.
I'm annoyed by a key detail that they missed.
Let's hear it.
The aliens could have said we saved $200 Earth dollars. That would have cemented the act.
You don't
So
think that,
it bothered you in terms of a alien continuity.
Yeah.
you don't think that the US dollar is the reserve currency of the galaxy? It's not Bitcoin.
Yeah.
I see your shirt. It's not Bitcoin.
What is it? Bars of gold press latinum are pegged on the US dollar.
Yeah.
Now, I what did we think about the aliens? Now, a couple days ago, Mark, who was on the show, really hated that they used children as Santa's elves. This is pretty wacky, the aliens. Dave, what did you think of the aliens?
They felt like a mix of Data from Star Trek and like Oompa Loompas from Willy Wonka. It was they were sort of like childlike, but also had more serious.
I thought they looked a little bit. I thought they looked a little bit like Mark. Same bone structure on the face.
As Mark himself.
Yes.
I mean, Mark is alien-ish in a lot of ways.
Very.
Okay, so we're agreed by a landslide. Mark is like an alien.
Yes.
All right. Let's go to the next one.
Yes.
Our guests are arriving. When will you be here?
Almost finished.
Okay, but hurry.
That'll do it.
Got the report done for the office.
The Tandy 1000 TL2, powerful enough for business, affordable and easy enough for the whole family. Specially priced for Christmas, save $200. Only at Radio Shack, America's technology store. Nobody compares for Christmas shopping.
They got me. I fell for it. I thought he was at work, like somewhere else, and not like at home.
It took an unbelievably festive turn. Syd, now what do you think about the idea of you're at work? Dave, this is included in you. Now I know I'm getting a little festive here. You're at work, you open a door, and you're in a pathway, and it's at a really nice Christmas party, and you're just at home.
That sounds like hell on earth.
Oh, come on, Syd.
It sounds awful. I agree, because you're in work mode, and then as soon as you leave, suddenly you have to socialize with other people.
Fucking Muzak jingle bells playing in my fucking house? Hell no.
Also, this guy's wife calls him. He says the guests are arriving, and he walks outside an instant later, and all the guests are already there mid-party.
I really can't believe this, that you guys are being such fuddy-duddies.
Fuddy-duddies?
Yeah, and I don't want to talk out of turn here about two people that I really like, but...
James, when was the last time you had an office job? You just aren't used to having to go from that
2016. 2016.
Yeah, so you're 6 years out or something like that. You're not used to going from that mode into socialized mode right away.
You haven't worked in an office in years either.
I work an office job, though. I work from home. So I'm very acquainted with the Tandy Corporation's sales pitch here. But
now, coming in from Thomas Bartle, he writes, the guests are arriving and the toilet is clogged.
My bad.
Is it your bad?
There we go.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Let's go to the next one.
I just found the perfect Christmas gift for my family. Radio Shack's
Elaine
sale-price
Bennis.
cordless phone. It's so convenient, everyone will love it. Janie can talk in privacy in her favorite place. Mark's friends can keep up with him on the go. And it'll be perfect for Bob's outdoor activities. As for me, I found a great gift for y'all at a great sale price, just $59.95.
The ET394 cordless phone on sale for Christmas. Save $20. Only at Radio Shack, America's technology store.
It's a good saving, and I will say that her hair was very Elaine Bennis-ish.
It was.
Finally,
absolutely.
I thought she seemed like a lovely lady.
She did seem like a lovely lady. They really kind of lean into the sort of, I'm not going to call it a stereotype, but the trope that teenage girls love to talk on the phone.
Yeah, while hiding.
Yeah, while hiding. They want to be talking to somebody on the football team or something in the comfort of their own room.
Now, I want to quickly get into something here. What pattern we've noticed tonight is lots of phones, a variety of phones. This is the first phone-heavy night.
We've left the. Firstly, they don't advertise. You started off radios.
Yeah.
That was the big thing to advertise. Then it kind of went to CD player music stuff. Then there was a whole era of computers, and now we're kind of in the mobile era.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, tonight you really feel a change in the decade as I suspect we're. You know, we don't have much time left. We might make it into the 90s.
Well, we were in 89, so maybe we already are in.
Well,
the
yeah,
90s.
89, right before the 90s.
Nobody compares for Christmas shopping.
When you give a Radio Shack handheld cellular phone for Christmas, you're giving the gift of convenience and the gift of safety. And now it's at our lowest price ever, just $399. This phone goes with you everywhere, at work or at play, and you'll always know you can be in touch. Bring your family closer together with Radio Shack's handheld cellular telephone at an incredible value of $399, only at Radio Shack, America's technology store. Nobody compares for Christmas shopping.
Okay, so in terms of pricing, at that time, I suspect $400 for a cell phone is a pretty good deal.
It's a great deal. I mean, it's cheaper than phones today.
Yeah, exactly.
I wonder if, I guess you have to pay per minute also, though.
Yeah, exactly. Like the plans were notoriously expensive back then, you know.
I feel like trying to think of like what movies I've seen phones like that, and all I can think about is like the original Wall Street, where like Gordon Gekko's on that phone, like essentially bankrupting some company for personal profit. Yeah, so that's what I envision when I think of somebody talking on those old mobile phones. It's some
hopefully we can.
Man.
I'd love to get some insight. So if there's anyone in the chat, if you know, or if you want to do the research, because I can tell you Devin is passed out, so he's not going to do it. We'd love an update on the pricing.
Also of note is that we have 8 minutes left on the Zoom call again.
This is true. Yeah, this is true. We're at just under 8.5 minutes, which
new and improved.
Yeah, the new and improved show that comes in 2 parts, all within one. And again, we'll have this rectified for the next episode here. Now, Dave, are you getting an update on the toilet right now?
No, I'm getting another update from my wife. As I mentioned, I painted the couple of rooms, and I got a message saying that we didn't hang the curtains back up.
All right, so it sounds like the toilet clogging fiasco isn't that bad.
It's not that bad.
Let's go to the next commercial with the time that we've got left. Looks very festive.
All right. This might be the last one for the night.
All right.
Ready, set. Let Radio Shack get your holiday off to a fun start with radio control toys.
Wow. Nice.
For red-hot action, the Golden Arrow can't be beat. The four-wheel drive Wild Ranger kicks up the dirt in tough terrain. And the two-speed Aero Buggy outruns the competition.
Look out for dinosaurs!
Radio control toys from $9.95, only at Radio Shack, America's technology store. Nobody compares for Christmas shopping.
Now, this is our last one. It ends on a fun note, and there's been a couple episodes where I say play one more because I like to end on a high note. I really enjoyed that dinosaur.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Car.
Absolutely. I never had one of those or saw one of them in the wild, but I would have liked to have a roaming dinosaur. I think my daughter would enjoy it too. She loves dinosaurs.
Now, winner of tonight's Kiss, Boss Fracture writes, the RC cars are really what I remember about Radio Shack. So we've seen a lot of RC cars, a lot of phones tonight, both cell phone and cordless. Few computer commercials, as well as I think the one CD player commercial.
That's right. It's a good recap.
Yeah, this was, I really liked it. We saw, I think for the first time, mostly playful, fun commercials. It began with that, got the whole world in my hand, and it ends with that rock and roll and remote control car commercial.
James, I want to give you a quick review before we leave.
Let's do it.
We've spoken about how hosty you've been as of late, sort of embodying the cadence of a host rather than having more of a casual conversation. I'd say you're still pretty hosty today, but you're making progress.
Thanks. Yeah, that's something that's been going on, Sid, is that Dave thinks I'm too much of a host.
Interesting perspective.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have enough context to, like, how can I say this? It's like it's like telling a football player on the field during a game of football that, hey, you're too much of a football player. It's like, well, that's like the function of the moment, like right now.
Here's what I would say.
Sid, this is why you're a Hall of Famer.
Here's what I'm going to take that analogy. I'm gonna make it a little bit more in line with my point of view. Now, imagine you were playing flag football with an NFLer, and you're in the middle of a play, and then this NFLer tackles one of your players and give some brain injuries. You'd be like, "Oh, you're being a little bit rough for this flag football game."
In that context, yeah, it would make sense.
Yeah, if you're comparing me hosting an internet show to a NFL player giving brain damage to another person in a pickup flag football game.
That's what I'm comparing, yeah.
Yeah. Well, look, we have come to the conclusion of tonight's 4th edition of the Radio Shack Retrospective, which also included part 2 of part 4. Any thoughts coming out of tonight with 4 minutes to go? Syd, let's start with you.
Make sure you have Zoom Pro.
Yeah, that's the takeaway.
Oh, also, 3.5-inch floppies were superior to 5.25-inch floppies.
All right, there we go.
I agree with that.
Dave, any final thoughts before we call it a show tonight?
Yeah, I want to try turning my gun steering wheel into an actual thing.
Awesome. Now, Dave, how much progress did we make in tonight's compilation video? What are we up to?
Great question. We're up to 51:14 out of 2 hours and 5 minutes, so we're almost halfway there.
And where did we begin? Was it 41?
43.
So we did not even get 10 minutes through this compilation.
I mean, if you say it like that, it sounds bad, but if you say it like we got more than 9 minutes through this compilation,
yeah,
you'd be lying, I think.
Well, look, Sid, I want to put
we
you on the spot.
We got more than 7 minutes through.
Sid, I'm putting you on the spot. I want to get you back for another Radio Shack retrospective. Are you in or are you out?
I would be in.
I love it. Now, Dave.
Don't sound so enthused, Sid.
Dave, no,
Yeah,
I took it
I
like
guess.
someone accepting a mission. Dave, let's go to you. Are you, and once we get off the airwaves, are you going to go unclog a toilet?
I am indeed, yeah.
Yeah, that's priority number one.
That's priority number one. Okay, well, if that's priority number one, this has been part 4, part 1 and 2 of part 4. I am James. That's Sid. That's Dave. You are you. We were here. Good night. Goodbye. Farewell. And of course, be well.